What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and today we are going to start a multi-part upload on the Daily Driver gray truck. So, yeah, I want these parts out of my garage so I can focus back on, the green truck, the Trans Am, and not to say that you aren't going to see a 55 video, a green truck video, or a Trans Am, or anything else between these uploads, but I really want to hammer down on getting these parts out of my way because I've been collecting them, because some of this stuff drives me absolutely crazy. But, I recently kind of got the red truck lined out, so I'm going to be daily driving it until I get this finished. That's why I want to kind of hammer down and get this stuff done so I can get the red truck sold. Whether, like I said, my dad buys it or somebody else, I'm ready to get rid of that truck. But I want to use it for a few weeks, maybe even a month, while I get this lined out where I want it. So a couple things, guys, you know that I lower everything. So I'm gonna kind of show you some parts before we get started. This will be kind of the one video, or the entry video on this project. But like I said, it'll be several uploads, but let's talk about what we've got here. So as you can see, we've got a console. I got this off Facebook Marketplace. It is absolutely nasty. So you guys are going to see me tear this. I'm going to take this completely apart because I'm going to lose the thing in the back that controls the stereo, because obviously this truck doesn't have that equipment. Take all the wiring out, the sub, it'll make it a lot lighter. Just clean that up really well. So we'll be doing that. You can see I've got an absolute mess. I haven't even picked up my parts and tools from finishing up with the red truck, and I really need to get things cleaned up. It's making me a little bit crazy, but that's another thing. I want some of these boxes out of my way. I've got shocks for the drop. I've got upper and lower ball joint, or upper and lower A-arms, because this truck has 200,000 miles on it. In my opinion, guys, it's probably gonna need ball joints. I'm assuming it's probably never had them. So we're gonna do that. New outer tie rod ends. I've got spring spindles, the flip kit, everything to lower it is kind of right here in this area that I want to get out of here. So we're going to be doing that. What else? I may do some brakes while I've got the front apart. I'm not really sure. I haven't ordered anything, but the brakes are making me a little bit nuts as well. This is all to get this thing to the level that I want it, because I am pretty picky. The other thing is over there, I've got a new steering wheel that we're gonna be putting on, which brings us to the interior, which I think is where we're gonna start in this video. So new carpet right there in that bottom box, new floor mats right above it that match. Ordered those through Amazon, but I think they come through ACC. Stock Interiors are all pretty much the same company, but like I said, I'll list all this stuff in the description down below if you guys wanna grab some of it. But if you guys don't know me by now from watching other videos, when I get a new vehicle, I tear the seats out, I steam clean all the interior. I'm just really picky about keeping my vehicles clean. And this thing has, while I have been driving it daily, it makes me nuts to see the stains on that carpet. Also, somebody spilled something under that mat over there and the carpet's completely ruined. Normally I would just clean what I have, but there's really no good way to clean it. And replacement carpet, guys, is not terribly expensive. So I've decided, I ordered some samples. I got the color that's as close as they can get, and I'll share that with you when we get to that point. But I want to tear all the seats out. I want to steam clean the seats to make them nice and clean. That includes front and rear. We're going to obviously have to have them out to get the carpet out anyway. While I have the carpet out, I'm going to take the interior panels here out, because we're going to have them out of the way. You could probably tuck it under that, but I'm going to take those out as well. We're going to probably pull the headliner out and take it to my upholstery guy, because it's got that normal GM, we were too cheap to wrap it around the edge, so that's why all our headliners peel problem. So we're going to get that fixed, I believe. And that'll make me feel a little better as well, so I don't have to look at that. There's a one spot in the middle that makes me crazy driving down the road and when I'm looking at this thing from the front. So we're gonna get that out. Obviously, we're gonna replace the steering wheel. I think because we're gonna have all the carpet out, I'm gonna go ahead and run like some RCAs and maybe a power line. I don't know that I'll put a sub in this series of videos, but I think eventually I will. I'm literally planning on driving this thing for a while, guys. I think you're gonna see it on the channel for a while, but I wanna get it to the level that I want. And so that is the plan on the interior. I may see if I can get a backup camera. My wife drove this the other day when I used the Yukon to pick up the 55, And she's like, well, it doesn't have a backup camera. So I may do that as well, because that radio does support that. So that's kind of an idea of what we're going to be doing on the inside. The outside, obviously, we're going to be dropping after we finish the interior. And other than that, I may get some touch-up paint for a couple areas that, you know, there's some rock chips and stuff. Especially, there's a couple here on the front bumper that kind of bug me, like that guy there. I actually probably should have taken that bumper cap off and had my painter do it while he was doing the mirrors. But either way, I think for now we'll just touch it up. And like I said, just kind of cleaning stuff up, getting stuff out of my way in here so I can, you know, focus on other projects. I'm really trying to change the way I do things, instead of, like, you know, starting something like the Trans Am and leaving it apart. I really want to blow through this, get this finished so I can be back daily driving it, and then get back on, you know, the rest of this stuff in here. So let's get started, guys. I'm going to set you guys up on a tripod. Like I said, I think we're going to start in the interior, and this is going to be several videos. So stay tuned, because it's going to be a drastic change in what it looks like now and what it's going to look like when we're finished. But let's get started on that interior. The very first thing I did was I actually unhooked the negative side of the battery. And the reason I did that is, a lot of times if you pull seats on these trucks that are hooked to airbags or seat belts, you will get an airbag error if you don't do that. So now that we've got that done, we're going to start with taking the seat out. Let's see if I can slide it back and show you guys how these work. Is it's actually an inverted Torx bit is kind of how they're designed. You can see there, but a 15 generally works in the front and an 11 generally works in the back. Just a standard 6-point generally is what I use. So we're gonna go grab a 6-point, 15 and an 11, and let's get these seats, at least the front seats, out first. You may have to use a magnet to get the two outers out. I did have to use a magnet, but I think we've got it loose. And what's really crazy is this is not a power seat truck, but it has a power seat hookup. The center seat belt was caught. All right, we got one. Yeah, it's really weird that it has a power seat hookup. Holy cow, that's nasty. I knew it would be. I like to lean them forward too when I take them out. Seems a little bit easier to get them, you know, not hit any paint. Just be careful. Now that we have that out, the console should lift straight out. Of course, we got the seat belt that was hung. I don't want to scrape anything. Oh, what a mess. I'll show you guys in here. As a matter of fact, let's just take a look now. This is why I take seats out and clean. Check this out. Look at oh my gosh. Well, my son will be excited, my youngest son, because he likes these coins. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the floor mats out too, and then we'll fold down the back seats and see what we need to do to take those out. You can see though the plugs that I was talking about on both sides. You know, I would say that this one has more to do with the airbag on this side, but that one, that big thick orange wire, that's a power wire. So that's interesting. I wonder if you could plug and play a set of power seats in this truck. Maybe something we do down the road. Either way, let's we'll get the mats out and fold down the back seat and see what we need to do. Let's take a look at our next step here. So folded the back seat down, so the bottom portion of it. I took this piece of plastic off, it just snaps on here. I took the other piece of plastic off, that smaller piece there, off of here. And that reveals two 18s. We also have an 18 back here, you can see. And an 18 kind of snuck back behind the seat belt there. So we're gonna have to fold the seat down. The other thing is this overlaps, and there's two 13s, I believe they're 13s right there. And we need to take those out as well. So actually that seat on the furthest side needs to come out first. So I'm probably gonna go over there, start with it, fold it the same way, And then we'll take the 18s. It'll probably have a series of 4 at least on it as well. Same situation over here, 18 here, 18 there, and then we're gonna fold down the seat, and once we get these 18s out, we'll fold down the back seat, and then we should have a little flap. Yeah, I don't even know whose hat that is. Oh, we can access it here. So this little flap will fold up or pop off, and then we'll be able to get to those 18s. Actually, that just pops off. Yeah, that gives us access to those other 18s. So I'm not sure if this is the best way, but it seems to be. I folded the seat back up, and now I'm going to attempt to just pull it out. You do, like I said, need to take the driver's side out first because it overlaps on that passenger side. I've got it moved over a little bit, so we'll see if we can just drag it out, and then we should have all the seats out of the way at least. Now that we got the seats out of the way, we need to go ahead and get this stuff out of the way. We need everything off the floor, obviously, because we're going to have to take the carpet out. And all this stuff sets under the carpet. I hate taking this loose because I don't think it's ever been loose. And generally when you do that, they rattle, but it's a necessity. Should just screw that off. And this guy, we had to pull down a little. When I say a little, it looks like a lot, doesn't it? That should come out, and then I don't know what that is. We've got two 10 millimeters that hold this guy to the floor. We need to get those. We might as well go ahead and take this out while we're here though. And I'm pretty sure, guys, it has never been out. 230,000 miles on this truck now, and never changed a flat on the side of the road. I probably wouldn't either. All right, I'm gonna move this stuff out. We'll go grab a 10 millimeter and get that out of place. I'm just setting this stuff in the bed for now. As I said, we've got a long road ahead of us here. Lots of cleaning for sure. That's been there a while. I think the next thing we'll do, go ahead and take these things out, these child seat deals, set those in the bed as well because we need to pull this panel off. Now as far as pulling this panel off, it should just be clipped. So we're gonna carefully work our way down. If you feel some pressure, don't force it. Just a series of those push-in clips. That's a little bit of a reach. I don't want to break it. We'll go to the other side. Should be able to finish it here. So we got that out of the way. You can see what I'm talking about, these clips. Not a whole lot that holds it in. The next ones we're going to take off are these. This one's been broke ever since I own this truck, or at least oh, it's not broke, it's just, it's stuck in there. Sometimes they come off. All right, I'll get that out in just a second. We're gonna get that front one too. So you should have 4 of these. Same thing, just clips. Just be careful. Now once we got all 4 of those out, I went ahead and did both sides. I only showed you one, but we need to get this guy out. And it's the same situation. It should be some clips, maybe a little Velcro. And it's gonna be tough in comparison to the others. It's got a little foam on it, so it's a little bit tougher, but same thing. We got clips. We don't have any on the bottom, just from like the middle here up. And so we're just pulling those clips straight out. Now this guy, so your handle up top, you guys can't even see it, but I'm talking about it and you can't see it. This handle, we're gonna need a 10 to knock that guy out. Actually, I have a 10. Now I know why the headliner replacement costs so much money. It's a lot of work. Oh, it had a clip in it as well. How crazy is that? Oh. All right, so we've got this side completely stripped. Our headliner's starting to get a little loose anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out on the other side. I won't show you guys that because it's the same process. It has one of those handles up top as well. And then we'll move on to the next panel. So for this back B pillar, I guess you'd say, C pillar, I don't really know what I'd call it, but it's a little bit different because there's a few things hiding. First of all, the seat belt goes through it. So we got to loosen that up. Down here, if you pull the carpet back, and you should be able to once these panels are out on the bottom. Well, it's gonna make a liar out of me here. Come on, baby. Okay, you can see we've got our standard GM seatbelt bolt. And I believe what size that thing is. I think it's a T40, T45. So we're gonna get that out. That'll give us the ability to loop the seatbelt through as we pull it off. The other thing is, you notice there's two Phillips right here holding the back. The rest of it, guys, is literally just push-in clips like everything else. So we'll go ahead and get those three things out, and then we'll pull this thing off. So the same concept here, guys. Patience goes a long way. Be patient with this stuff. It's you know, it's been in here a minute, so you're just gonna kind of pull straight towards the passenger side, and you're gonna have to kind of move it around the carpet as you go and pull it up from the bottom here. So a lot of stuff going on. It's really, really snug right here where this seat belt holder is. There we go. And it actually busted. Yep. That was the tough one on the other side as well. I took this off on the other side first. You see the crack I put in it right there? Boy, it is not wanting to come loose on that clip. I can't see back there. I mean, it's already broken, so that's a bummer. You can see what I'm talking about. That clip was the one that was holding this up. Can you see that? Let me thread it through the seat belt. So I'm gonna have to find one of these at a salvage yard, but I might glue that from the back side. That clip right there, it's snug. I think I'll probably just glue that. Doesn't look too bad. And most of it's hidden by the seat. I don't know, we'll see if I can find one in a salvage yard. Obviously you can't buy this stuff new, so. But we've got that panel out. Unfortunately it did break or crack. Let's move on up to the front. See if we can get our kick panel out. Same thing, clips. And that one always sticks on me. See this one right here. I like to pull these out, bend the tabs back a little bit. Generally what I use is a pair of needle nose or even my pry tools. Get these out, and then we'll bend them back a little bit. They've got these little prongs in them that, well, my battery went dead. Anyway, what I was telling you is they've got little prongs in them that you can kind of bend back and keep them in place. But onto the A pillar here. Generally, these things fight a little bit, but that wasn't too bad. It's got one. The rest of it's kind of held in by the dash down there. And this is your wiring for your mirror. So, got that. So all we have to do at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and take the kick panel off on the other side, and then the A-pillar, and then we'll move on to the headliner, getting all the stuff out that we need in order to get this headliner loose. once we've got all the pillars off, we're gonna go ahead and start by taking your, we're gonna start by taking the visors off. They should be a Phillips. I just may have to switch to a smaller size. I can't really see it. Oh, actually it's a Torx. It's a Torx, maybe it's pretty big, T20 maybe. Okay, we got a T20 now. So we're gonna take the holder off first. I'm just gonna kind of keep this stuff together so I don't have to worry about losing any screws. And unfortunately, this is the same thing here. You know, the downside to Torx is just, I don't understand. You know, back in the day, they only did Phillips. This one feels a little smaller, actually. This one's a T15. Okay, so T20 on the inner one, and this is a T15 over here. I'm gonna go grab a T15 now. We'll try again here. I wonder why they do that. A T20 on the, I mean, I could have taken that one out with the T15 probably, but I didn't want to strip it. It just seems weird why they'd have different sizes for the same deal. Another reason why you need to keep these separate. I don't know if the length's any different, but one of the cool things we got going for us here, guys, is we do not have any kind of mirror lights. So we don't have to worry about trying to unplug the mirror lights, because that's always kind of cumbersome. They're generally like right above the headliner, and they don't like to come loose. You can also see why I'm going ahead. I wasn't going to do the headliner right now, but holy cow, taking all this stuff out to put carpet in makes sense to do it now. So now that we got that, I'll go do the other one, and we'll come back and get the center console. Here's what's a hoot. This is a Phillips. And I think that's why I thought the other stuff was a Phillips. I don't know. Not getting it here, guys. Yeah, it's a Phillips. I just got to go find apparently a different tip here. May have to just got it. All right, so then you should be able to slide it forward. Oh, it's got clips. There we go. So now we just need to unplug this and set it to the side. I think I'm gonna need a flathead to unplug that. Yeah, I am. But then we'll move on to the light. Now onto this guy, I'm just gonna take a small flat blade screwdriver, pop these little covers out. Oh, and that may be what holds it, actually. I think it is. They're clips. Looky there. Holy cow, that's weird. Yeah, they're just little clips. Huh. Well, you can tell I've never had it out before, guys. So you can see, look how much we're getting of fall. Let's go to the middle here and see if we can get, if I can get the camera where we need it. see if we can get these guys out. You can see we've got these clips, but this should come out like that. I don't think it's stuck in any other way. I think just the wiring harness is all that's holding it. Looks like it might need to come. Okay, there we go. That is a tight fit. So I think all we need to do at this point is we need to pull all of our little plastic pins out here. And I think I'm gonna go grab a panel tool, maybe a plastic one, so I can push up a little bit. You can see I've got some room to push up and then get under it so we're not putting a ton of pressure. This thing is like really flimsy, and I'm afraid that if you put too much pressure on it, you're gonna damage it. These actually, guys, are put in from the factory with the windshield out. And so you really almost need the seats out of place in order to get this thing out, and it's still gonna be a struggle. The only pry tool I have is metal, and I don't love that. So what we're gonna attempt to do is use two plastic ones, one on each side, and see if we can pull them out. And I don't know, guys, see, I don't wanna put an indention in it that we aren't gonna be able to get out. You see that right there, what I've done? So I'm gonna go grab, I'm gonna put these under there, and then I'm gonna grab my little tool that kind of pops loose clips, and we'll see if that works any better. The good news is, you know, going back together, it won't be as bad as coming apart, but man, they're in there. You don't have to worry about this on a regular cab because it doesn't have these, but man, yeah, I'm gonna mess up that foam. I better stop. This tool is the one I was talking about and the one I really didn't want to use, but holy cow, it actually works. Like I said, when we come back out with this, or when we go back in with it, first of all, I'll probably gotta wear white gloves, but let's see if we can get this one out too. There's two more. I think we're gonna have a headliner resting on my head here. Let's get this last one out right here. Okay, it's not resting on my head, but it's really, really close. It may have a little bit holding it in the center. We don't have anything else holding it. May have some Velcro. Yeah, I think there's a clip. It feels like there's a clip back there. I'm gonna get my light and shine above it. So a couple things I've noticed here. So you can see it came down. There was a small clip in the back. The only thing holding it now is wires. So you can see the wiring that goes into the mirror. It's all like hot glued to the top of this thing. So the mirror's not a problem. I can unplug the mirror and bring that wiring here. Same thing, I believe, in the back goes to the third brake light back there. So you can see, and then it's glued and goes to the center, which that's fine. The problem being is I don't know if I should, I'm gonna call, since my upholstery guy is my neighbor, I could just call him and be like, hey, is the best way to do it maybe just to pull this loose in the connection down here? I don't know how far down it goes. If that's the best way, then that may be the easiest, because I really don't want to peel this hot glue back. It's literally glued nicely where it needs to go. So I don't necessarily think I want to do it that way. I think I'm going to go ahead and unplug the mirror. I'm going to unplug the third brake light. I don't know if I probably am going to have to pull the third brake light out from in the bed in order to get access. I don't think there's a clip back there. Maybe there is. But I'll pull those two loose and then we'll talk to him and see what he thinks I should do here. Okay, let's talk about where we're at this point. Okay, so I unplugged the mirror, right? I took the third brake light out. That is the only way to get that plug loose unless you have really small hands to reach up in there and grab that guy. You could see the clip that this thing had, and honestly, I probably pulled it loose. It probably should have been taken loose with the third brake light out after looking at things. I just think that's the way I'll probably put it back together. But either way, we've got that. And so as far, I didn't call him yet because I don't want to bug him if I don't have to, but I went ahead and took these clips off and I traced this wire down to here, and it goes up underneath to this guy right here, and it loops over and plugs into this box underneath. So I went ahead and took the cover off the box here, and I'm gonna go ahead and unplug that wire and just take them the whole freaking thing. So I don't have to worry about undoing this. Like I said, it's glued so nicely that I really don't want to mess with it. And I don't know, maybe he takes it off when he does it. I doubt it, but either way, I'm gonna leave it on there and take it to him all as one piece. So I'm gonna go ahead, trace that wire, unplug it, thread it up through there, and hopefully we can get this out. So check it out. Got it laying over here. So I called my upholstery guy and said, hey, what do you normally do? Do you normally pull that wire off? Since I already pulled it off, but he's like, no, I generally just take it off, pull it off the headliner. So he takes the wire off. Oh well, either way, we got it out. He also said, get it under the steering wheel. So I should have probably, there wouldn't have been a lot of way to show you, but if you get it, the back of it up under the steering wheel, he said it'll go out the passenger side front door, and he's right. That's the way I took it out. Had my son come out here and help me, but it's out. Anyway, so I'm gonna clean up my tools, get all them out of the way, and then guys, I think we can go ahead and yank this carpet out. I'll tell you guys, it's absolutely killing me not to vacuum this, but we're gonna pull it out. And I think, oh, actually, we got another piece under the dash here we're gonna have to unhook. This little brace. Yeah, we're gonna have to unhook it. Looks like a 15. Actually, you know what? Since this carpet's gonna be junk, I'm gonna cut it right there, and then we'll pull it out. All right, let's get this old stuff out. Now the downside is our new carpet, I don't believe comes with, I don't know if it comes with the matting, like this padding. What I do know is it doesn't come with any holes cut in it. So that part's gonna suck. What a mess. Not too bad pulling it out, doesn't seem like. Probably be easier if it were a regular cap. All right, got it out of there. Gross. Now, like I said, I don't know, guys, whether it comes with new padding. It might. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick up all these coins for my son, and then I'll probably go ahead and open that box and see what exactly our new carpet comes with. Okay, so I actually took this carpet out of the box, and it does come with padding. So you can see our padding on the back, which means I'm excited about that because this padding, it's pretty gross. But that also means that I need to take a couple more things up because the padding goes underneath this wiring harness that you see, and it also goes underneath that vent. So that's the vent for the backseat passenger. So I'm gonna go ahead, pop this all off. It should just be, it just sets on some studs, so it shouldn't be too hard to take off, and it should just pull out, and then we'll rip the rest of this padding out as well. I'm looking at this padding and the fact that, you know, the wiring goes between the padding and the carpet. The carpet that I got is glued to the padding. So I don't necessarily know that I want to take this padding out. If I do that, I'm going to have to separate it because, as you guys saw, the carpet laid on top of those vents, which the vents laid on top of the padding. So I'm going to see if I can get it to fit with this padding. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to vacuum all this up. I do have some other stuff planned, but we'll get to that. It's not here yet. So I think what I'll do is I'll just off camera vacuum all this out, get it looking, you know, way better than what it is. And then we'll do some, I think I'm going to call them and see what they suggest. I don't know. I think the carpet probably, because you have to cut the edges. You have to cut all your holes. None of your seat holes are going to be there. None of your vent holes are going to be there. We're going to have to cut all that stuff. And they give you a little extra to run over the edges. So I think since they give you some extra, we may be able to just lay it down on top of what we've got. But I don't know. I think I'm going to call them and just see. So after kind of, you know, looking at this, looking at the new carpet, I think I am going to go ahead and pull this up. There's some spots that are kind of damp, and I'm sure that this is, you know, probably terrible smelling. I mean, it's not putting off any kind of odor, but I think I am going to go ahead and just rip this out. And the reason why, I'm going to pop this, all these harness, basically these harness pieces up and kind of thread it underneath it. And then we'll just set the new carpet on top of that, and we should be fine. So that's what I've ultimately decided to do. That is all harnessed up, so we shouldn't have an issue. We're going to have to unplug, I believe this is for the airbags, if I remember correctly. And then there's a 10 millimeter over there that's a ground we're going to have to pull off. But I'm going to go ahead and get this out of place. And then once we get it out of place, I'm going to go ahead and start pulling the dash apart, because we're going to have to do that in order to get the new console pieces in. So let's, we'll rip this out off camera. I'm just going to tear it out, and then we'll talk about what we need to do to get the console, because we have to take the glove box surround off, and the piece obviously that goes to where your cigarette lighters and your ashtray and stuff is down there in that little pocket. So we're gonna have to remove some stuff in order to make way for the new parts. So we got all the padding out, but in order to get this bottom panel off, we need to take some stuff out. So we need to put this key in. Obviously we have the battery unhooked, but we need to take this out of place. We'll just set it back in the bed with the rest of the stuff. And then we'll go over to the glove box side and see exactly what we need to take loose. And actually, before we go over there, we're going to take there's a couple 7 millimeters here on the bottom. We're going to take this kick panel out. Once you get those out, it should just pull out. Holy cow, those clips. One of my clips stayed. I'll have to go grab something to pull it out. But we've got that out of the way, and now we have access to everything we need. And I'm gonna go show you guys, I'm gonna take the camera off the tripod, show you guys what I'm talking about, what we need to do on the other side. So along the bottom here, you're gonna see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 millimeters. So we need to go ahead and take all of those out. It doesn't hurt if you want to go ahead and release your glove box. generally, or what side it's on, this side here. But I'm gonna go ahead and get those screws out first. But yeah, you're gonna have to have the glove box down. You're gonna have another 7mm back here behind. You see this little locking piece. Hopefully you guys can see that. Get a little light over here. You got another 7 here, another one here, another one here. So we need to take all of these guys out. So what was there? 5 across the bottom or 6 across the bottom, 7, 8, 9. So we need to get all of those out. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on. Once we got what seems like 400 of those 7mm out, we need to go ahead and start prying. I took this little triangle piece off the outside on the outer side here, so I have a little more room. Oh, that came loose quickly. And sometimes there's some secret ones back here. We'll look and see. I don't see any there. These are really, really tight. I don't see any ones that I missed so far. So you may just have to give it quite a tug. Oh, I take that back. There's another one up here, guys. Here's a free quarter. Now let's try. Make sure there's no more. Oh, I got money in here. I'm wondering if we got another one hidden somewhere, because it sure feels pretty snug. I feel like maybe there's one behind the glove or behind the ashtray. I don't see one though. Make sure there's no more in here. I think that's it. I think I just got to get a little more aggressive here. And it's hard. I don't have anywhere to set without. That was it. So we need to unplug this guy. Your 2 cigarette lighters. I think I'm gonna have to have a screwdriver for that. Got that one out. Alright. So what we need to save here though, and you don't necessarily have to, but you're gonna have this whole piece in order to make this work. So you're gonna have obviously there's not gonna be anything here, that's gonna be the console, but you need the glove box surround because it is different. Obviously it's not all one piece, it's cut for the console to fit up in where it needs to go. But what we need to do is, because I'm picky, I'm gonna drill out these rivets. There's 2 rivets on the bottom of the glove box, and the reason why is because your RPO codes for this truck, the VIN number, match up with the glove box. Now the glove box actually is the same, so we'll use it on the new piece that we're gonna put in, but for now we're gonna go drill this out and get this off of here. Now that we've got the glove box off of both of them, I kind of wiped this down a little bit, but we're ready to put this guy back in place. So it just snaps in. You know what's crazy is there's no wiring here for it, but this one actually has a light for the glove box, so I guess the truck it came out of had that. But we need to try to get this guy lined up, and it's kind of a pain, to be honest with you, because it's got to go up underneath this and snap in at the same time. And generally you can get it in up underneath this, but we're gonna try anyway. There's one side. There's the other side. And of course we're gonna put our screws back in. Now I'm not gonna put my glove box back yet because we're gonna be running some wire. but I can go ahead and put the two. I can't put the two in the bottom of the glove box, but I can go ahead and put the one up in the top here in the center. That'll help hold things, and then the ones that go over here in the corners. So unfortunately, I should have put that on yet. There's actually a plastic piece that holds the console, the front side of the console that goes here. It goes in this hole here, and then there's another hole behind that. So I am gonna have to take that back off. But I feel like, guys, this is a good place to stop. I've got a majority of the stuff out that I'm gonna be taking out. The only other things I foresee me taking out is I may just pull those clips, take that carpet out so it's easier for me to steam clean it. Make sure it's all clean. It's got a couple spots on it. I think it's majority of dust. Of course, we need to dust off that stuff back there. But as far as the panels, all the panels are out that I would clean. I've already cleaned up the dash in that area. I might go over it one more time before we put the carpet in. But like I said, for the most part, everything's out that we want. So what my plan is, guys, is in the next video, we're going to continue the I guess actually the reassembly process at that point. I've got some surprises that we're going to be doing on the floor and some other stuff, but we're also going to be running a backup camera and some RCAs and amp turn on wire back here to the back in case I ever put a radio in or a stereo system, which I think I eventually will, because the plan is to keep this truck for a while. But you can see I have an absolute mess. I've got stuff strung all over the garage here. Got the seats, got all the plastics in the back, and then of course the other seats and the old carpet and center fold down console right there. So we do have our work cut out for us, that is for sure. But I will tell you guys that I absolutely love this. Stuff like this is the reason I wanted to build this shop, so I can just blow stuff apart and just take my time, do things the way I would like to do it. I don't have to be rushed about it, like being out in the middle of the driveway. You know, I've got another vehicle to drive while we're doing it, which is awesome, because that really gives me the ability to, you know, just take my time and do things right. But hopefully you guys are enjoying this. If you are, guys, like always, please go down there and smash that thumbs up button. If you are not subscribed, guys, please go down there, hit that subscribe button. Of course, ring the bell icon. That notifies you every single time we drop a new video. And stay tuned to see this truck come together.